Tick-tock. That's the sound most people ignore until it's too loud to pretend it isn't there. Isn't it funny? We all wake up thinking the day will drag, like it owes us time, like we're promised another sunrise. But before the sun even sets, the world can tilt. Boom. Just like that. One text, one call, one thought, 1 second. And everything you thought was steady becomes smoke. People live like they've got a grip on the clock, but the truth is the clock's got a grip on them. You think you've got time to fix it, say it, change it. Cute, you don't even know what's being set in motion while you're brushing your teeth. You ever notice how calm people look when they think they've got the day figured out? Walking around with their little plans, their neat schedules, their I'll handle it later attitude. Oh, it's adorable. They sip their coffee, answer a few emails, post something motivational, all while thinking nothing's going to shake them. But here's the twist, the real joke, the unexpected isn't lurking in the shadows. It's already standing next to them, smiling for a moment to speak. People act like chaos needs an invitation. It doesn't. It just needs an open door, and they leave dozens of them swinging wide every single morning. See, what people forget is this. Calm doesn't mean safe. Routine doesn't mean protected. Just because you've done something 1,000 times doesn't mean today won't be the one that burns. And the unexpected, it doesn't show up with a warning. It doesn't ring the bell or knock politely. It kicks the door in, smirks at your to-do list, and wipes the whole board clean. 1 second you're scrolling, the next boom you're spiraling. One word, one glance, one truth you weren't ready for. And your whole little world gets tilted just enough to remind you who's really in control. People think they're strong because nothing's shaken them yet. That's not strength. That's delay. That's borrowed time. That's a ticking bomb under the table that hasn't gone off yet. And when it does, they'll look around confused, like, where did this come from? As if life ever owed them a heads up, as if storms need permission. You don't need to commit a crime to face a sentence. Sometimes all you have to do is breathe and wait, because the unexpected doesn't need a reason. It just needs a moment. 1 second of carelessness, one flicker of ego, and suddenly the floor's gone. What's worse is that deep down most people feel it. That creeping sense something's coming. Not in a scary movie way, no more subtle than that. Like a tension in the chest, a pause in the laugh, a question behind the eyes that won't leave. But instead of listening, they distract themselves with noise, with people, with comfort. Anything to drown out the warning signs their own soul is screaming. But the unexpected, it doesn't care if you're distracted. In fact, it prefers it. Because surprise is sharpest when you're soft. When your guard is down, when you've convinced yourself today will be just like yesterday. They call it paranoia, right? Being too alert, too suspicious, too sensitive, but maybe, just maybe, it's survival instinct trying to wake them up. The problem isn't that things go wrong, it's that people assume they won't. They operate on autopilot like the world owes them another 24 hours. As if the sun can't rise and still witness a collapse. You can walk into the day like it's yours, but if you're not really watching, you won't see the shift until you're already in the middle of it. And by then, well, you're not thinking anymore. You're reacting. You're surviving. Funny thing is, people always notice the signs after the damage. I had a weird feeling. I almost didn't go. Something told me to say something, but they didn't. And now they're looking back at that 1 second. That tiny little moment when the unexpected made its move. That's the trick. That's the sleight of hand. It doesn't shout. It whispers. It walks in dressed like every other minute, then pulls the rug. And by the time you feel the fall, it's already too late to scream. You're in it. All the things you postponed, all the choices you avoided, all the voices you silenced, they're standing in the room with you now. See, the unexpected is always closer than you think. Closer than comfort, louder than logic, faster than fear. You don't get to choose when it shows up, but you do get to choose whether you're awake enough to see it coming. And most are half asleep, even with their eyes wide open, smiling for the cameras, laughing at nothing, keeping busy so they don't have to face the silence. Because in that silence, the truth speaks. And the truth is time's not on your side. Not really, it's a trickster, a shapeshifter. It gives just enough rope to make you feel safe before it tightens. You know what's funny? People think silence is peace. They think if they just don't say anything, don't react, don't confront, everything will stay nice and neat. Like silence is some kind of shield. But silence, oh no, silence can be the loudest sound in the room. Silence can be the slowest killer. You think you're hiding from trouble, but you're actually inviting it to set up camp. Your silence today, it's like signing a contract with your own undoing, and you don't even realize you're the one holding the pen. People get comfortable with silence because it's easy. Easier than confrontation. Easier than accountability. Easier than risk. It's like they think if they don't open their mouth, a problem will disappear on its own. Like ghosts vanish if you just stop looking at them. But silence doesn't heal. Silence doesn't fix. Silence doesn't protect. It just lets things fester. It lets poison drip slow and steady, turning small cracks into gaping holes. You think you're being wise, but you're just being quiet while the chaos throws a party behind your back. And here's the cruel joke while you're silent. The clock's ticking louder than ever. The world's moving faster than your hesitation. That silence you cling to is actually a vacuum sucking in every chance, every moment, every breath you could have used to fight back. You're holding your tongue, but the damage is done. You're holding your peace, but the war is raging. Because silence is not the absence of noise, it's the absence of action. And when action doesn't come, everything falls apart. Slowly, painfully, inevitably. It's the little things you don't say, the phone calls you don't make, the words you don't speak because you're scared or tired or thinking it's not the right time. But there is no perfect time. There is no safe moment. The longer you wait, the more you're feeding the silence, and the silence feeds back. You think you're hiding from the storm, but you're just standing still in the rain, waiting to get drenched. Because silence doesn't stop the storm, it just makes you a sitting target. The worst part. Sometimes silence is a weapon you use on yourself. You lie to yourself in the quiet, telling yourself it's fine, it's nothing, I can handle this. But those lies don't protect you. They cage you. They chain you to your fears and doubts and regrets. Every second you don't break the silence, you're building walls that keep light, hope, and change out. You become your own jailer, locking yourself in a cell made of missed chances and unspoken truths. And what about the noise outside? While you're quiet, the world doesn't stop talking. It doesn't pause for your fear or your indecision. People around you make noise. They make moves, they take risks. And while you're holding your breath, waiting for the perfect moment to speak or act, others are already winning or losing. Your silence becomes a spotlight on your hesitation, a billboard advertising your doubt. And no matter how much you want to pretend it's peace, everyone else hears the chaos underneath. There's also this illusion that silence keeps you safe, that if you say less, you'll attract less trouble. But trouble doesn't care. Trouble doesn't discriminate. Trouble is a thief in silence. Silence is the unlocked door. You think you're protecting yourself by staying quiet, but you're actually inviting disaster to walk right in, undetected and unchecked. And when it strikes, you'll wonder why no one warned you, why you didn't see it coming. But the truth is, you did. You just stayed silent. Sometimes silence is the loudest betrayal. You betray your own future by not standing up, by not speaking out, by not making the noise that scares off the danger. You betray your dreams by not defending them, not fighting for them, not demanding the space they deserve. You betray your soul by swallowing your truth and feeding your fears. And the more you silence yourself, the farther you drift from who you're meant to be. Because silence isn't golden. It's a cage disguised as calm. People forget that words have power. Not just a wound, but to heal. Not just to break, but to build. A A single sentence spoken at the right time can change the course of a life, can shatter a cycle, can ignite a fire where there was only ash. But if you keep your mouth shut, that power stays trapped inside you. That potential stays buried under layers of doubt and silence. And that's the tragedy. What could have been said, done, changed, lost forever in the quiet. So next time you feel that pressure to stay silent, that urge to swallow your words and hide your truth, remember, silence is not peace. It's a choice that has consequences. It's the space where fear grows, the playground for regret, the breeding ground for missed opportunities. And the longer you wait to break it, the harder it gets. Because silence doesn't stay quiet forever, it breaks, and when it breaks, it's not gentle. You ever notice how life loves to set traps disguised as choices? Little moments where you think you're just deciding what to do next, but really you're standing at a crossroads that decides who you'll be by the day's end. Every minute is like that, a doorway, a gateway, a fork that says, you can keep walking the same path, or you can step into something new, something dangerous, something alive. But here's the catch, most people walk right past these doorways blindfolded, pretending they don't see them. And the ones who do see, well, they freeze, they hesitate, they wait for a sign, a permission slip, a guarantee, and the day keeps moving without them. It's funny, isn't it? How we crave change but fear it so much that we miss it when it's staring us in the face. Those doorways don't come screaming, they come whispering. They look like discomfort, like risk, like uncertainty, things we've been trained to avoid. So instead of stepping through, we retreat, we clutch. What's familiar, what's safe, what's comfortable. But comfort is a liar. It's a velvet cage. And the longer you stay inside, the harder it is to believe there's a door at all. Because time has a way of dulling your senses, of convincing you that the walls around you are all there is. But the truth is that every minute is packed with potential, bursting with possibility. It's a loaded weapon aimed at your future. You just have to choose whether to pull the trigger or not. And the scary part is, you don't always get to see the bullet. Sometimes you pull that trigger, and the impact shakes the ground. Sometimes it's a whisper, a nudge, a small crack in the armor. But it's always a decision. Always a moment where you say yes or no, move forward or step back, break free or stay chained. And those moments, they don't wait for your permission. They don't linger for your comfort. They demand an answer. You can't rewind these doorways. You can't pause them or stall them. You either walk through or you don't. And the one thing that kills more dreams than failure is hesitation. That moment you waste thinking, what if? When you could be saying, why not? The day doesn't care about your doubts. It doesn't wait on your confidence or your courage. It just ticks forward, carrying every choice you make and every choice you avoid. Because even avoiding is a choice. Standing still is a decision. And sometimes that's the most dangerous one of all. There's also this beautiful cruelty in how these doorways work. They're not always obvious. Sometimes they're dressed as problems, as chaos, as pain. Sometimes they look like a breakdown, a loss, a failure. But that's the trick. What seems like an end can be a beginning. What feels like a dead end is often a secret passage. But only if you see it, only if you dare to step inside. Most people see only the walls. They don't see the door hidden in plain sight. They don't realize the trap is actually a chance dressed in disguise, waiting for someone bold enough to risk it all. And risk is the word people hate. Because risk means vulnerability. Risk means you can fall. Risk means you can lose. But it also means you can win, you can rise, you can transform. You can become someone new, someone real, someone powerful. But only if you step through. Only if you dare to let go of what's comfortable and reach for what's possible. The day will test you, yes, it will push and pull. It will tempt you to stay safe. But the minute you decide to move, to choose to act, you change the game. You rewrite the story. You flip the script. And suddenly the impossible doesn't look so impossible anymore. Most people live in fear of making the wrong choice. But here's a secret: there's no wrong choice, only the choice you make and what you learn from it. Every doorway teaches you something. Even the ones you walk away from. Even the ones that slam shut in your face. Because decision is power. Choice is freedom. And the more you understand that, the less you're a prisoner to fear. The more you're a master of your own fate. The more you're alive. So when the day gives you a minute, a chance, a doorway, don't look away. Don't wait for a sign. Don't talk yourself out of it. Because these moments aren't just fleeting. They're the architecture of your life, the building blocks of your future. The sparks that light the fire or the dust that buries it. And the question is not whether the door is there. The question is whether you have the courage to open it. The day, it's like a patient observer. It watches you. It watches what you tolerate, what you let slide, what you pretend doesn't matter. It keeps a ledger, not with numbers, but with moments. Tiny little instances where you could have drawn the line, said no, made a stand, but instead you blinked. You looked away. You whispered, not now. And the day remembers. Oh, it remembers everything. Because what you tolerate isn't just a moment, it's a message. It's a declaration of your boundaries or the lack of them. And the day, it tests those boundaries like a cat with a mouse, slowly, relentlessly, just to see how far it can push before something breaks. Tolerance is a funny thing. We think it's strength. We tell ourselves I'm strong because I'm patient. But patience and tolerance aren't the same. Patience is power waiting to be unleashed. Tolerance is a slow surrender. It's like watering a plant with poison and hoping it'll grow. You tolerate things that weigh you down, chip away at your spirit, and you tell yourself it's fine. You tell yourself it's temporary, that you're just going through a phase, but phases don't last forever. The poison seeps deeper, the cracks widen, and the day watches, calculating, waiting for the moment your tolerance becomes a trap. The worst part, the day doesn't warn you. It doesn't flash a neon sign saying, hey, you're about to cross your own limits. No, it's much more subtle. It comes in slow drips, in the little compromises you make for comfort or convenience. The things you excuse because you're too busy, too tired, or it's not worth it. Those little moments stack up like bills you ignore, piling interest until the debt becomes crushing. And then when you're least expecting it, the day flips the script. It pushes a little harder, demands a little more, breaks a little more. And suddenly, tolerance isn't patience, it's your undoing. Think about the times you ignored that nagging feeling. The voice in your head screaming, this isn't right. The signs you dismissed. The red flags you waved off like they were nothing. What did that cost you? A piece of your peace? A shred of your dignity? A part of your dream? Because tolerating is not passive. It's active participation in your own decline. You're not a victim of circumstance. You're the one who allowed circumstance to win. And the day keeps track, always watching what you'll take before it decides to take from you. Tolerance also breeds invisibility. The more you accept what you shouldn't, the less people take you seriously. The day knows this. It watches how your tolerance changes how others treat you. How they push boundaries when you don't push back. How they walk over you when you stand still. Because tolerating is like telling the world you're not worth the fight. And the day, it's a cruel judge. It sees the cracks in your armor and chooses to pour salt in them, just to watch what happens next. But here's the kicker: tolerance isn't just about others. Sometimes it's about what you allow in your own mind. The self-doubt, the excuses, the negative voices you let linger. The day watches how you tolerate your own limitations, how long you let fear hold the reins. Because the longest battles are often fought inside. The day doesn't care if the enemy is outside or within. It only cares about what you'll stand for and what you won't. And when you tolerate your own defeat, the day becomes a battlefield where no one wins. Yet the day is also a mirror. It reflects back what you send out. If you tolerate disrespect, it shows you more disrespect. If you tolerate complacency, it gives you more of the same. If you tolerate pain, it offers pain in return. Because life is a cruel dealer of consequences. You get what you accept. You harvest what you sow. And tolerance is the soil where seeds of chaos grow wild. The day sees the garden you're tending, and it doesn't hold back the storm when the weeds grow too tall. Tolerance is a slow poison disguised as kindness. A trickster in the night that makes you think you're doing the right thing by bending, by giving in. But the day knows better. It sees how your tolerance sets you up for failure, for heartbreak, for loss. It's a warning, a challenge, a test, and the day waits to see if you'll draw your line before it draws it for you. Because when the day decides enough is enough, it doesn't negotiate. It just acts. And the consequences are always real, always sharp, always unforgettable. Opportunity is a sneaky beast. It doesn't shout from rooftops or send you polite invitations. No, opportunity whispers. It waits in the shadows, lurking in the cracks of your routine. Disguised as chaos, as risk, as discomfort. Most people miss it because they're too busy looking for something grand, something flashy, something easy. But the day knows better. The day watches how you handle those small moments, the ones that make you hesitate, the ones that make your heart race with fear or excitement. Because opportunity isn't about the big leaps, it's about those tiny steps you're too afraid to take. You see, opportunity is a test, it's a dare. It's life asking, how bad do you want it? But here's the catch, the answer has to come fast. Because opportunity doesn't linger. It's like a train speeding through your town in a tower. And if you don't jump on when it passes, you're left standing on the platform, waving your regrets goodbye.